Guys, I am building a twin turbo 4x4 drag and drive style truck entirely out of parts, or mostly out of parts that we found from the junkyard. Now, I have a goal to get this truck fired up by the end of the year, which is right now about a month away. But I started this build like 3.5 to 4 years ago, and it has been kind of on the back burner for a long time while we've done some other things. But right around the beginning of September, we pulled it out of storage and decided it was time to get cracking. So we've actually made pretty good progress in the last couple of months. We have what is basically a Junkyard LS3 sitting under the hood now. We completely went through it. We refreshed everything, head studs, new gaskets, all new seals, gapped the rings and things like that. Of course, we upgraded the cam and the valve train. We have a Junkyard transmission behind that, a 4L80. And then even further back, we have a Junkyard transfer case. And right now though, it's basically from the cab back, it's just a bare set of frame rails with nothing on them. However, it is looking really good because last time we put a fresh coat of paint on the frame rails, which I hate doing. It's kind of a pain. However, it does look really, really nice now that the work is done. So we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna get the rear half of the truck reassembled so we can get the chassis plumbed. We get fuel to the front, we get some wiring on there, and we can actually fire this thing up before the end of December. So I was never crazy about the flat black paint on the frames, kind of growing on me, but everything else that attaches to it is this semi-gloss, which I'm kind of digging the contrast, so I'm liking it. All right, guys, time for your weekly reminder. You got to get entered to win the second gen Cyclone. That's right, I'm giving the truck away. You know what it's all about because you've seen me build it on the channel over the last little while, probably 1.5 years now, 2 years almost. It's an LS swap, it's a 530, it's supercharged, it's all-wheel drive. It's what GM could have built if they wanted to build a second gen Cyclone. And the best part is it's bright red. It has a really cool livery on the side. This truck is sorted out and you can take it home. You've probably seen the commercials for the other giveaways where everyone's like, oh, no one's entering my sweepstakes. Your odds are really good. Well, here's the deal. There's about 1/3 of the amount of people that have entered the second gen Cyclone sweepstakes compared to the amount of people that entered my ugly truck sweepstakes up until this point. So your odds are really, really good that you can win. And to sweeten the pot, we have now a Black Friday sale that is live until midnight on Monday, the 1st of December. We have a 2x entry multiplier that's going on. So every $5 that you spend at TolmanPerformance.com is going to get you 2 entries into the second gen Cyclone sweepstakes. And the best kept secret is our quick entry feature. Normally that's $5 for 2 entries anyway. So that is now basically a 4x entry compared to a normal day. So get entered to win. Your odds are really, really good. Head on over to the website, TolmanPerformance.com, and get entered to win. You can read the official rules if you have any questions. This sweepstakes is also open to Canadian citizens as well as US citizens. So all-wheel drive might do great in the snow up there in Canada also. Now, I'm really starting to get excited at this point in the project because we know now things are going together for good, for permanent. Like, none of this stuff is going to have to come back apart unless I decide to pattern coat the frame like way down the road. And so we're doing the thing finally where I mark all the hardware to make sure that I remember it's tight. That's just one of my steps that I love to take. But yeah, this is kind of the final look, which I am really, really happy with how this turned out. It's a lot of work because we modified this cross member, that one, and that one. All of them were replaced with this round tube. This one we moved ahead, for example, to clear the fuel tank. A lot of you guys, by the way, have asked about this fuel tank. This is made by a guy or a shop called DB Rods. He's down in Texas. I don't think he has a Facebook or like a website even, but I looked him up. I found a phone number. So if you want one, give him a call because it's a really, really nice piece. It's like 1/4 inch thick, so super beefy. He can put whatever style of sending unit mount you want. This is for the 99 to 03 trucks. And it also has down there a 12 AN pickup for when we do a big pump if I want to run external. But anyway, for now, we just need to get this truck running, naturally aspirated. I don't have a huge fuel demand right now. I have 2 pumps to choose from. This is a stock one from a 01 Silverado. This actually came from Copo Truck. It's a brand new pump with only like maybe 100 miles on it because I swapped that one out for I think we did a 450 or a 525 in Copo Truck, don't recall now. Then we have this one. This is actually not for Silverado, that is for the 2nd gen Cyclone. We replaced this with a 525 Walbro. This is a 340 liter per hour pump, which it didn't work with a supercharged 5.3, but for a naturally aspirated 6.2 temporarily, this will fulfill all the needs that I have. It's got the, oddly enough, the S10 uses the same resistance fuel level sender as this generation of Silverado, so that's cool. It has like the same height, the same diameter, the same 3 fittings up top, same connector. So this, for all intents and purposes, is a drop-in fuel pump, except there's one key difference. The Silverado, if you look at that edge there, has just a 90-degree edge on the top there, and that uses like a donut-style gasket, where this one has a little extra lip in there, which that uses an O-ring style of seal. So the only other difference is the little clocking tab that they put in there is in just a slightly different spot. So all I'm going to do is just grind off that little bit of a lip. That way we can use the 340 liter per hour pump, which will work, like I said, for a cammed 6.2, 400-ish horsepower on E85. That pump will be more than enough. And of course, it'll make the factory gauge work, which makes my brain so happy. So let's get this modified and let's get it in the tank, and then we'll build some fuel lines. All right, so check this out. This is kind of neat. Silverado pump, pull that guy off. All the way empty, reads 58 ohms. And I expect this one will be very close, 40 ohms. Then when we go all the way full, 250. This one all the way full reads probably close to the same. 251 I saw. 250, yeah. So that will make the gauge work exactly the same. So first thing, I'm just going to kind of grind smooth this little alignment tab because our aftermarket aluminum tank doesn't have a spot for it. It's like the hardest stuff to grind accurately, just because one, it's soft, it's easy to take off too much, and two, that gloss white color is just so hard to see. Okay, that's step one done. Step two, I don't even know if you can see the lip, but there's like a little ridge that sticks up right there. So all I gotta do is grind that lip off, and then our seal should work. So the pump hanger is now modified. That's just a 90-degree angle. So instead of an O-ring, like with a metal tank, it takes the whatever kind of seal this is. Now the other cool thing about using an OEM style hanger is this has like a little venturi and a check valve and stuff. So even if the truck is a little bit low on fuel, this should always be submerged and maintain fuel pressure. Which, with those aftermarket hangers where it's just like 3 pumps sitting on the bottom of the tank, those are kind of difficult to work with if you're low on fuel. Blue means better. Okay, so we got to convert this to a AN fitting, -6. These are Summit Racing fittings. Kind of a cool 2-piece design. The nut slides over. Then this little retainer slides in, which this is a tight fit, admittedly, on this fuel pump. But if you do it just right, it simply pushes in place, just like that. So now the nut can't come off. A little bit of grease. And the fitting just slides on. So, has a tight fit. But we got it. Now to plumb this short section here, I'm just going to be using this Earl's Vapor Guard. Still E85 compatible, but it's a lot more affordable way to plumb this temporary section than using the PTFE, which again, PTFE will work, but temporary. Maybe you want to do 45 there. We'll see. Now they don't make the Vapor Guard in sizes bigger than 3/8 or 6 AN, but this is great stuff. Come on. Just takes a little bit of force. There we go. Slide on our clamp and squeeze it. And even though this is truly a temporary solution, we are still going to take all preventative measures to make sure this is a robust, long-lasting hose, protected from heat and abrasion. So the last part of the fuel system, under the truck at least, is the filter and the flex fuel sensor. We're going to mount those inside the channel, and we just have to make 3 short pieces of hose, one from the bulkhead into the filter, out of the filter, into the flex fuel sensor, out of the flex fuel sensor, and to the final bulkhead. Just had an OCD moment. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pretty big holes right here, 4 on the other side. That's where the torsion bar cross member originally went. I am putting another hole here and another one here. And I'm crazy, I'll admit it, but I don't like having that many holes that close together. So we're gonna fill in those holes and then we'll do the 4 over there. And then I'll probably get carried away and do 1 or 2 more. So stand by. So that was a fun little detour. Looks so much better now though. I didn't fill in every single hole, just the big ones that were near where I was mounting things, but much cleaner. And you know we're gonna be using threaded inserts because it's my new favorite tool. I did have to order this morning, it's not here yet. I did order one of those 90-degree rib nut setters because there's going to be a few of these that are a pain to get in. This one I think we can just barely do. Handle's about to hit the transfer case. Another thing worth noting, I got these from McMaster Car. They're an M6 rib nut, but they're for a thicker material, 4 to 6 millimeters in thickness. The ones that you normally get with the kit, they're too thin. They don't like to bite into a frame like this. And then to make sure we get the pattern correct, I always put one in both the part where it needs to go and then mark for the second hole, just so I know it has the least chance of moving. All right, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I have completely stuffed myself with turkey yesterday. Can't wait for turkey leftovers today because Thanksgiving is my absolute favorite holiday, mainly because of the food. But it's Friday, there's work to be done, and we have the shop to ourselves, so we're gonna get after it. I wanna finish up the fuel system or get it as close to finished as possible, which means we gotta connect those 2 hoses down there with the blue caps on them. We need to connect those to the engine, and in the middle we need a way to control fuel pressure. So I went to Summit Racing, I picked up a fuel pressure regulator, an Aeromotive high flow one. I'll put the links down below in the description, which by the way, everything for the fuel system we did pick up from Summit. They have some Black Friday deals going on now, which you need to check out. I'll put that info down below for you to save some money on. But anyway, we need a way to, or I need to decide rather, where to mount the fuel pressure regulator. Normally, I'd use these 2 studs here, I'd build a bracket and I'd set the regulator something like that. And then the hoses would go straight down to the feed and return bulkhead down there and have one going to the engine. But because this is going to be twin turboed, I'm trying to keep this area here as empty as possible. Now you can see I did sort of mock up the power steering hoses just to get an idea of where an OEM hose would run. And I did consider keeping those on just for the naturally aspirated phase, knowing that I would have to redo them later on, but I'm really, really unhappy with how they look. So I figured we're gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna convert to a JIC style hydraulic hose right out of the gate. So the same thing we did on the S10 here. That way we can run like just a traditional hydraulic hose end, and we can, you know, choose whatever angle suits us best. On this truck, I kept the pressure line over here and the high pressure and low pressure return on the outboard side. But on the 4x4, I need to keep all 3 hoses on the outboard side. And that's actually where the regulator is going to mount as well. So I'm going to get the fittings ordered. Just when I build my bracket, I need to keep in mind that there's a lot of stuff that's going to occupy a fairly small space. So just want to see this is going to work. So to make this work, we're going to have to put a slight bend in the bracket to clear the plastic reservoir, but at least I have like the spacing and things that I need to get started with our new bracket. And this is that's like 1/8 inch, so just a little bit thicker than whatever this is, probably like 14 gauge. I think it's time for some new gloves. That's going to bring our week to an end, and we have one more project checked off the list. And I feel like we're making progress. This last couple of weeks has been time-consuming stuff, but now that we have it almost done, like we can move on to the slightly easier things, like modifying the wiring harness and running the chassis harness and stuff like that. So I believe we are going to hit our goal of firing this thing up by the end of the year. It'll be tight, but I think we can actually make that happen. Real happy with how the regulator turned out. This is going to be a tight corner, but we do have enough room for everything. So for the feed, we're going to run a 120-degree fitting. We'll do a 90 on there. That'll get the two 10ANs kind of outboard and down almost at the firewall. We'll have plenty of room to run the line from the outlet of the regulator to the fuel rail, and that'll also leave plenty of room for our 3 hydraulic hoses for the Hydro Boost, and we'll be able to keep all that stuff outboard. And so we'll have plenty of room for the turbine housing and the downpipe. I'll have to remove this thingy, but other than that, we'll have plenty of room for turbos over here. This side is pretty easy. I don't have to do much other than AC. I am gonna get from Blake at Rowan's Rides a new Duramax style receiver dryer and different hose for the suction side of the AC. He's doing another run of those, which, by the way, if you have a Turbo Silverado and you have tight clearance on your AC around the downpipe, check him out. He makes a kit. It's really awesome. So yeah, we're knocking stuff out. Towards the back, I do need to run a few more wires in the harness for our future fuel pump. I'm just gonna run several, I don't know, 8 or 10 gauge wires, just so I have plenty of current back here. But we have enough current in the OEM harness for now to run the 340 liter per hour pump for now. So yeah, one of those things where I just have to stop and look at it, because it took a lot of time to get the frame looking like this, but now it's done and it's right, and it makes my little brain happy. Final reminder of the video, don't forget to get entered to win the 2nd Gen Cyclone. I put just as much OCD and craziness into that truck as I have the 4x4 drag truck, except you can take this one home. It's supercharged, it's LS swapped, it's all-wheel drive. It's probably the tightest packaging of any engine bay that I have done, but it's all in there, it's fun, and you can take it home. So we have a Black Friday sale going on right now. It's live until tomorrow, Monday, the 1st of December at midnight. And the sale is a 2x entry multiplier. So every $5 that you spend at tolmanperformance.com on any purchase is going to get you 2 times the chances, or 2 times the entries to win, except for the quick entry feature, which that actually has a 4x multiplier. So get entered to win. Your odds have never been greater to take this truck home. So thank you guys for watching. Come back next week. We were going to be working on this thing again, hopefully getting ready to fire it up soon.